I'm about to play a song by Nickleback called Never Again, but I'd like to tell a little story first that has something to do with this song. If you don't want to hear me talking, go into the description. There'll be time codes down there. It's going to say 00 talking, and then the next time code will say song. You could just click on that and go straight to the song and skip my talking. This is a good song, but it's also a bad song. Why is it a bad song? What the dude is singing about is his mom and his dad fighting all the time, and how he's scared that his mom is going to get hurt. You know, she's getting beat up all the time. They go to the emergency room, you know, and the dad tells her, just tell him you slipped and fell. But later on, the mom gets sick of that happening all the time, and she ends up shooting the guy. I was actually born in New York, and I lived there until I was 8 years old. My birth dad left my mom when I was 1 year old. She ended up remarrying a guy when I was about 5. He was doing the same thing to my mom and us. He was beating up on her and beating up on us. And I remember, you know, they would just yell and cuss at each other all the time, totally just fighting all the time, like bad. And me and my sister, I have a sister, we would just be scared. We'd be in our rooms just scared, like we're hiding in there. We just would never come out of our rooms because we didn't want to get hit. And I remember one time my mom had just finished cooking dinner, and you got to keep in mind back then, you know, there were microwaves, but most people didn't have microwaves yet. We didn't even have color TV yet. You know, and you have to cook old school way, and she had it all laid out on the table. He just took the whole table and like threw it, the whole dinner, the whole table and everything. But when I was 8 years old, I was in 3rd grade, and my mom brought us over to my grandparents' house. We were there quite a bit anyway. We almost like lived at my grandparents' house, probably because of this stuff. And she went to California, and she got a job and a car and a place to live. And she came back to New York. You know, I didn't know she did that at that time. We're just at my grandparents' house. We're just little kids. I didn't know she was doing all that. She just, hey, she's on vacation. I don't know. But she had made a plan to leave New York. She said, you're going to finish 3rd grade, which was probably like another week or so, and then we're leaving. Don't tell anybody. And after I finished 3rd grade, it was the summer of 1978. And I don't know who drove us to the airport. It was the middle of the night. And my mom took me and my sister, and we got on an American Airlines DC-10 and went to California. We lived in LA. That's why I always tell people I'm from LA. Even though I lived in New York till I was 8, but I met my wife in LA and everything. And that was probably a brave thing for my mom to do. But the reason why she went there is, from your perspective, if you're looking at Long Island over here, LA is about the farthest you can go away from there, except for like Alaska or Hawaii. So she went all the way to LA, and she said, don't tell anybody, because she was afraid that guy was going to follow her or follow us and then come out there, you know, and beat up on us out there. But I'm glad she did that, because we had a completely different life in California. I met my wife and everything. All our kids were born there. My wife is a California native. It all worked out. Jesus works stuff out in such awesome ways. But I just wanted to tell that little story real quick, because it goes with this song, because this song is almost exactly how I grew up. And I'm like, I wonder how many people grew up that way. I don't know if that's a common thing, if it's a not common thing. I really don't know. I'm not going to sit here and look up statistics, but I'm wondering if that's a more common thing. That's the way we grew up. And then I heard this song when I was looking for songs to play, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's like my life, except my mom didn't shoot my dad, my stepdad. She left. So I hope you enjoy my little story and the way that I play this song. Thanks, everybody.
Something wrong tonight. The living room becomes a boxing ring. It's time to run when you see him licking his ass. She's just a woman, never again. just a child with a temper. Haven't you heard, don't hit a lady? Kicking your would be a pleasure. Oh! He's drunk again, it's time to fight. Same old, just on a different night. She grabs the gun, she's had enough. Tonight she'll find out. What tough is this man? Pulls the trigger.